Good evening, everybody. This is Minakshi. I'm the founder of Outright, and also I have we support recruitment companies to hire their employees. And thank you so much for VWC to give me a wonderful opportunity to interview three wonderful women who was going to talk about sustainability today. And let's welcome Vijay Lakshmi. And Vijay Lakshmi is a person who's an author and she is into automobile. We are going to welcome Vijay Lakshmi on board. Vijay Lakshmi, can you just speak a little bit about yourself? Because I know that there are a lot of details that I'm going to miss about you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vijayalakshmi Babu Kumar, an end-to-end supply chain strategic solution provider, basically a mechanical engineer with more than 2.5 decades of experience in manufacturing industries, project industries, and mainly in automobile industry. Name any automobile industry and in their purchase department, if you ask me, they will be able to remember me. That's the impact I've created with the automobile industries. And my career also, if you name any sectors, no, like two-wheeler, I started my career with the two-wheeler industry, then with commercial vehicle, passenger cars, SUVs. I've handled most of these OEM customers and at last with railway industry as well. Currently, I run my own supply chain company, a small startup company where we look into the sustainable solutions in supply chain.
Oh, that's really amazing. And being as a woman, being in supply chain industry must be a challenging job for you. How are
Very true.
you coping up with the challenging of this? This is very difficult for any woman to handle. And so far in my whole journey, I haven't met anybody who's in supply chain and
So
automobiles, especially automobiles.
I started my career with automobile industry. Thanks for that one. Basically, as I said, a mechanical engineer. So I actually opted for textile engineering, but I didn't get textile engineering. They put me in mechanical. For first 1 year, it was I was really very bad that I have not brought my textile. But later, when I understood the mechanical engineering and the way the things are happening, it was so interesting. And I went in automobile industry. So exactly the supply chain concept was. Derived in the market in 2010 9 8. During that period, the supply chain was one globally, the initiative was coming up. Till that time, I was with marketing, OE, sales. All this was my core function. So when the supply chain came up, they removed all the sales activity from marketing. They removed the purchasing activity from the metal planning and logistic activity from sourcing, and they formed the supply chain. So since I was there in the sale, I was there sales, and I was taking care of the customers. I've been pulled into supply chain. First, it was very difficult for me. Also, it was a new one. All over globe, it was a new initiative which started from the starting of supply chain from 2010. I'm there with supply chain. It's a very interesting one.
Yes.
Daily, you have new challenges. Uh,
Yes.
I, I'm not used to do the daily routine type of work. So every day I require some challenge, and supply chain gives that.
True. Without any further ado, let's welcome our Ranganayaki. She is a pro NCA. When I was talking to her, she spoke so much about taxes. And welcome Ranganayaki to our show. And tell me more about yourself. I know that you're a chartered accountant and you can speak more about taxes. And when we had a discussion, yes, I totally understand. And we want people to know what all your service and the recent award that you have got.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. By educational qualification, I'm a company secretary and a cost accountant. And few years ago, I became an insolvency professional and a registered valuer. So, what basically we do is anything to touch with the life of a company, right from incorporation till it is put to a closure. We work with all the life scale of the business. So we help businesses to scale up. We do auditing, assurance services, we do consulting, we do fundraising. We work in the startup ecosystem. We help them to scale up to a larger extent. So when we go into getting an investor, we get the valuations done for you. So throughout the life cycle of the company, whatever is required. More so, we look at the taxation angles. When there are litigation, we take up the direct tax and indirect tax litigation. So we are into anything and everything to do with finance. More than anything, I am passionately, I speak on finance, not just for finance people, but for non-finance people also. especially the women entrepreneurs and women people, the only challenge I feel, women are very, very successful in their career. But when it comes to their personal finances, or when we talk about boardrooms looking at the financial numbers, they say, this is not my cup of tea, let others take care of it. And that is one thing I'm just trying to get out and make them feel comfortable with those numbers, and make them understand how to read those financial statements. Because as a professional, you could be in whichever stream you want, but end of the day, when you come to the boardrooms, when you talk about profitability, it's all numbers, numbers, numbers. So how to read those
Exactly.
financial statement, what is good, what is bad, whether the numbers are speaking, what is the reality in the background in the organization. To understand that, I make them read the financial statement, tell them which are the pain points, how to highlight those red flags, where to find really you have generated cash or not, the numbers are being cooked up. Those things are the aspects I help people to understand, and help women to take charge of their finances. I must be one of those, very certain percentage of women who take care of even their husband's finances. Not that he cannot do, but I'm saying as a chartered accountant, we take care of the taxation and things like that. So
Correct.
that's one thing I'm very, very passionately I'm doing, and I'm a professor visiting faculty for students pursuing their MBA. So this is what my profession is all about. As I
Thank
mentioned,
you so
recently I've
much.
been awarded a small award for being, one of those top women in mentoring. So this is what is all about me.
It's lovely, and we have so much to talk about it. And let's welcome our Sulabha Sandbox founder. She has recently got an award in sustainability, and she was a global awardee and Asian awardee on their education. Welcome, Sulabha, and thank you so much for being in this event. And let's can you introduce about yourself a little more so that I don't miss anything, or the audience don't miss anything. I
Thank you
it's
so
not
much, Manali. Can
audible.
you hear me?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
All right. So, yeah, I'm the founder of Sandbox Academy of Alternative Learning, which is basically an alternative academy which focuses on non conventional methods of teaching. And we predominantly focus on skill development in children, which will actually meet industry standards and help the children prepare better for the future. Along with that, I'm also a doctorate student of generative AI, and I'm pursuing it from San Francisco Golden Gate University. So, yeah, I think our major vision at Sandbox is empowering the children with future ready skill sets so that tomorrow, when children are moving into the market, they are ready to face whatever challenges, and they are not just consumers of products, but they are also problem solvers and critical thinkers. So, yes, that is a little about me.
We want to hear more about it, and let's get into the discussion about sustainability. To understand more about sustainability, as I can, if I can talk about Vijay Lakshmi, she has written a book on sustainability, and you run a school which involves in sustainability, and we have a Ranganaiki who always talks about sustainability. So, where does sustainability means? What does sustainability means for business? Why is it crucial? And could you provide examples of companies successful balance profit with environmental responsibility while discussing effective methods for measuring environment? Let's start. No, let's start. Why is it necessary for business instead of getting deep into it? Anyways, we are going to discuss about it.
So actually, every company, like all over the world, it is very important. We are in a phase where it is our responsibility to keep this earth for our future generation. Whatever
Exactly.
we do, it is very important that our future generation has at least the facility whatever we have today. We have seen the transformation happening with all this because of usage of environmental stuffs and everything. So you see that lots of changes have global warming, the climate changes. This year, whatever we have seen, the summer in this year 2024 was one of the best example how the earth is going on. So one
Exactly.
initiative for this is the sustainability. When we speak about sustainability, each and every organization, it may be any domain or any type of industry, it is mandatory they have to have a sustainable way of doing things. when I say about sustainability, it starts from everything and anything can be done into sustainability. And since I've been there in automobile industry, now automobile industry is little far better in the sustainable industries and in mainly on supply chain. Lots of sustainability initiatives are being worked with all the automobile industry. They started reducing the cotton boxes, cargation, wood consumption of this is the major impact in automobile industries, which we are trying our best to reduce it. We are coming with circularity initiatives, which will help the less usage of trees from all obvious everything is from trees, no, mostly the
Yes.
cargation, all the wooden thing, everything is by cutting some more other trees. So that is one way we are trying our best in the packing solutions, which will help for the tomorrow generation to have the plants, at least to
True,
the have
true.
this earth.
Yes. What is your opinion, Mr. Nike?
See,
Am I audible?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Okay,
see,
great.
I'm
So,
started with the right note, that's what even I wanted to say. There is a quote which says, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. In fact, we borrow it from our future generation. And that
exactly.
is where the responsibility to ensure that, we are handing over the right, baton to our next generation is very, very vital. And in the process of achieving industrial revolution, we have compromised on lot on our environment. It doesn't stop at
Correct.
environment. When we talk about sustainability, it talks on three of the aspect. One is environment, E. The second is a social aspect, and third is the governance. Today, you look at each and every of these aspects. Environment is messed up in to a larger extent. The social factors, we have to eradicate hunger, poverty, give equality to people, bring women to workforce, give lot of take away the inequalities. And governance, and how much ever I speak on governance in terms of sustainability, that is very important. When we talk about corporates, the entire governance starts from the board, and the board has to ensure that the governance is in right place so that it trickles down the entire organization. How we are able to advocate our requirement with the governments, how we are able to get the whistleblower, how we are able to take care of the CSR, posh, all these things comes in. So when we talk about sustainability, it comes on the three important aspects. Not only environment, it talks on the environment, social, and governance factor. Put together is a complete recipe for future, and that's where I talk about sustainability has to be speaking loud and clear on all the three aspects. So
that's
concentrating
wonderful.
on one of the smallest aspects on each one of them will make a significant impact on the community, and all of us have to embrace component from all the three aspects. That's what is my sustainability take. ESG, and you have to be there on all the things. Third is there is a triple bottom line concept today called planet, people, and profit. We have been concentrating only on the third aspect of profit, compromising on people and planet. So we have to take all the three P's together, and that is where second thing is end of the day the business has to make profit. Especially as a chartered accountant, I'm speaking. Yes, profits have to be there, but at what cost? You have to have a profitable business, but at the same time it has to ensure that all the three P's are being protected, and that's where sustainability for me comes from.
Oh, that's well put and the right point to talk about, right? When it comes to it's, we have to keep in mind it's not only about the profit. We have to make sure that it is taken care. It's not everybody's property to just ruin it and we just use it. And with that note, we'll go with Silba, and I know that she's going to talk more on educational aspect of the side, and we can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with the points that both the mentors have put out over here. And I think I totally agree that, see, there's a very beautiful research by Harvard which said that a company cannot do well until it does good. So, that intersection between doing well and doing good is where sustainability lies for me. And I think when we are empowering tomorrow's generation also, this is the thought that we need to put. And as ma'am's put it very, very rightly, there has to be a thin balance between, being responsible so that the welfare of the society is maintained. At the same time, we are keeping the environment viable for our children tomorrow. So I think just keeping that in mind and just talking about these issues with the children right from the younger age, I think makes the whole process very beautiful, because they start becoming more and more responsible. And I think that is what basically sustainability in business means to me as well. That is a thin balance between maintaining the three P's that ma'am mentioned.
And how can we implement? What are the practices that we can bring to implement these sustainability in our companies?
It can be started
Effective
from
methods, you
anything.
could say.
Yeah, it can be done. Like when you speak, where you can implement sustainability. Sustainability can be implemented everywhere. Just starting from switching off your lights when you're not in your place, or the fan, the AC. You go for a lunch, everyone goes out, the AC will be running completely for half an hour to 45 minutes. But these all are small, small things, no? Early
Because
days when,
I'm so
yeah,
sorry to interrupt you. When they come back, they wanted that room to be
feel,
freezed and they don't want it to feel the hot outside.
it cannot be like that. No, you have to have this environment, everything for our future generation, right? The
Yes.
sustainability should start from there, actually, from our offices, from our desk. When you go
Uh-huh.
out, it is we have to ensure our laptops are on a switch off mode, or shutdown mode, or something, sleep mode, so that you will not waste the energy levels. See, today the energy levels are coming down, so we are looking other alternate energies which can be, so EV has come up, solar is coming up, and other things. But how long you're going to have other energy pods to help the society tomorrow, the society or the environment, everything. So it should start from each and everyone's desk. It can be implemented in all the places. No, since I spoke about industries, it is always better to use, instead of having lights in every room or every desk, you can have solar panels. So we have invented, like, in every desk in our organization, what we have done is we have put a glass opening in the top, so that the sunlight gets inside.
Oh,
So
wow.
not required to have the energy, full-time energy, saving the electricity bills. These are all small, small things saying. It can be done in every place, even in your homes. I remember when I was a child, no, when I moved out of one room, my grandfather used to say, switch off the light, fan. But how much we are doing it today? We
They at
have
least
five
thought
rooms,
about it.
bedrooms, all three bedrooms, lights and fans will be on, but we will not be there. We will be there in one room. We go, we
Exactly.
keep it on, we don't switch off when you come out of the place. These are small, small things, no, which starts from home. Each and everyone, you take every 1 person reduces 10 minutes of electricity. How much electricity can be saved? Correct. If
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
much electricity is saved, we save the environment, right? Usage of
True.
electricity is obviously comes to the environment. Again, when also it comes in socials. This is all small, small things. So ESG, whatever Ranganagi ma'am was saying, it is very important to be followed in all aspects. And everywhere you can do it. I can say n number of places in supply chain, but in random it can start from our home.
True, true. And recently, this construction companies also has come up with a lot of idea how to save the sustainability. Like you said, having this glasses on top to
Classes.
save the energies, and the cave like clay walls to bring the AC. Recently, I
AC,
think
yes, right.
one of the
Bricks have
guys,
come with that. Bricks have, actually, there are some bricks which have the hollow bricks.
correct,
These bricks, they keeps your home warm, because they don't allow the exact temperature to get into your home. So
correct.
lots of things are there.
Initial
Here, the
times,
one important thing is, every time all organization, as rightly said by Ranganayaki ma'am, should not look at profit alone. In
correct.
what cost you're getting that profit is more important. Might be
True.
you may say spend 1 rupee extra for getting a sustainability, please do it. In later, you will get a big ROI will be very good later. Maybe the problem with today's generation and today's, including me, I'm saying, we all see what is the short term benefit you get. We don't always look at the long term benefit, what we are going to enjoy and what we are going to give back to a society. If you all think about that one, we will really work on the sustainability. It's awareness which has to come to each and every individual. Only corporate organizations or the boardrooms alone is not sufficient. Every individual has to think on this one.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And how your companies are implementing sustainability? When you so as in you're working in automobiles, there are EVs which is coming up to save the ecosystem without hurting
Now,
it with
next
the
level of
emissions.
EVs are also working out, like EV plus solar connecting together. How can you get the energy? Such developments are already under progress actually in industries. In our industries, it is mainly we try to we actually there are some Kaizen boards where we ask people to come up with their ideas how they can save the energies or how they can bring in sustainability. So the Kaizen cells are there where people come up and give their own ideas in small areas. It may be in any small area. They give their update, and we will review it and see if it is a possible one. We'll ask the same person to implement, and some rewards and funding will be given. So such activities are already done in all automobile industries actually, and
Okay.
mainly on supply chain. Most almost 50 to 60% of supply chain is with circularity. It means with returnable and the sustainable packing solutions. So that is the biggest impact we have created in automobile industries.
Okay. So, and how about the infrastructures? Since we were talking about the lights and ACs, see, it's always needed for the company. They are definitely going to use the ACs, but they cannot build a solar plant to save the energy. And is there anything that so far the companies that you have come across in automobile have implemented to save the energy?
Yes. What we have done is, one is we have put, most of the companies are coming up with solar panels in their rooftop for their power, and there are ACs with solar.
Yeah,
In our earlier organization, we have put the rooftop is completed with all with solar panels, and AC is also 50% to 60% of AC runs with the solar power.
that's great. Yeah,
Only
and
when, because in summer you get lots of solar energy.
true, true.
That
Yeah.
is when you require the ACs also to be running it, no? So that has been done, and most of the organizations have started doing this activity, and some organizations also have taken some wind energy also. They have implemented with the wind energies, because you may not able to create it, so they take a in a CSR activity, they take a locality and they fund for the windmills there, and the whatever power which is generated from that windmill, they give it to the government. Might be we cannot use it directly. In an indirect way, we give it to the government, and for that we get a subsidy for the electricity whatever we use. So these
Oh,
type of initiatives are already happening.
yes, yes, yes. So, since Vijay Lakshmi, thank you so much for giving all the inputs about it. Since Ranganayake is also into something related to startups and they mentor startups how to work on it. Have you ever tried to implement the sustainability in their infrastructures or usability anywhere that comes when it comes to the companies, startups, and you know that you from the registration to end, you take care of everything.
See, in fact, in startup, there's a lot of stress is given upon the sustainable models. So the government funding, you get your seed funding, you get your this thing on based on the merits, and one of those, whenever the startups are generally into med tech, ed tech. So similarly, all these things which are what is startup basically, you are trying to improve something which is not there, or on a system which is already there, you are trying to improve upon it. So these sustainable models are coming in, not necessarily all of the startups are there, but they are trying to implement it in various activities of their operations. Uh, when Vijay Lakshmi ma'am spoke about start the small things, even carrying your water bottle. In fact, few startups where we are working, they are working into fabrics which is made from plastics, they are working on it, the patents are working on. So everyone is trying to do their bit. And one thing, what from what first question I answered to the second question is, we cannot keep thinking profit, but we have to look at sustainability. But I would put it the other way now. If you look at sustainable products, your profitability automatically gets taken care, because now nowadays people are willing to pay a little extra to be conscious about the environment for being a sustainable product. And the longer, see, funding happens today for green, there's something called green funding. So the industries which are working in the green area, they are able to attract more funds. There is a ESG rating today. So and this is all in the pipeline. It is not fully executed, but that's going to be the future. Today, top 1,000 companies by market capitalization are supposed to get a ESG reporting called, in India, it is called BRSR, Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting, wherein they are talking about what the organization has done in the last 1 year, on all the three factors, E, S, and G. This is actually linked to your 17 sustainable goals developed by UN. And in turn, everybody, and there are 9 principles under this entire VRSR mode. So we are trying to link those principles to the sustainable development goals. This is now mandated for the top 1,000 listed company, and it is voluntary for the other organization. But the consulting paper from MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, says they want to implement it over a period of time to all of the companies. But the thought processes, we will not do it in the full-fledged fashion. There is something they are talking about, a BRSR light version, wherein every corporate can say what they have done in the last 1 year. Currently also, if you see the audited financial accounts of any of the organization, under the reporting, you have 3 things which is already been highlighted. One is, what is the energy conservation measures taken, and foreign exchange earnings inflow and outflow. Now, and CSR is a mandated one, you are talking about it. Now, more and more the disclosures required under the SEBI or under the Companies Act is talking about your disclosure. Today, under the director's report under the Companies Act, you have to disclose how many POSH cases have been there in the year, how many of them have resolved. One of these sustainable measures, we talk about in ESG. So overall, everybody is embracing in a smaller fashion or a larger fashion, depending on who is the audience. But it is affecting all of them. If you are able to put solar panel, there are subsidies given by the respective state governments. There are businesses which are set up in MSME set up in solar panel businesses. There are businesses which is coming up in anything which is to do with any. For example, I'll tell you, there is an organization in a company called Food in North India. They source all the flowers from the local temples and then make incense sticks out of that. And there are companies working on the coconut coir. Somebody is trying to make. So this is how, instead of landing all of them as a landfill or water fill in the Ganges, they are trying to ensure that it is getting recycled. So end of the day, the 3 R's, reduce, recycle, and recycle. This is what is in fashion. Corporates are definitely embracing. The startups are working in those areas where they can roll up their business. When they go to a VC, they could say, my business is sustainable model. We have embraced these things in our process, because what you said is the processes has to be sustainable. Today, there is an organization called Sustainalytics, if I'm not mistaken, the correct name. They do ESG rating. And how do they do the rating? You can't do the rating same for all the organization, because an oil and gas company will be always polluted. So you cannot measure them in terms of a software company. There has to be a gap. So when they are measuring their processes, they are going to measure the process. How much is that they could manage on the sustainability, on the environment or social or governance factors? How many of them are managed and how many of them are left unmanaged? That is where it is talked about. So end of the day, over a period of time, in the next 1 decade, for sure, last decade we embraced, the digitalization and things like that. In the next decade, we are definitely going to embrace this sustainability and the longer term, the taking care of all the 3 things I said, E and SG, is going to be very, very vital. And whoever is doing a championing work, in fact, in the BRSR reporting, when I spoke about, there are 2 factors. One is an essential factor, all of them have to report. And there is another factor which is called leadership. If your company is doing something greater in that area, you can report it. For example, when you look at Infosys balance sheet, the VRSR reporting, they talk about scope 1 emission, scope 2 emission, scope 3 emission, how they have taken care of all the 3 emissions. Scope 1 is internally generated, scope 2 is within the premises or where you are working, scope 3 is, it is coming from your service provider. So how you are able to do this sustainability on a value chain partners also. If I come from a garment industry, I started my career with a garment manufacturing company. So when big companies like Gap and all come for inspection, they used to look at the toilets, they used to look at the equal wages, the minimum wages paid. Today, when those people come for inspection, they talk about how sustainable is your model, how processes is being taken care to protect your environment, social and other factors. So today or tomorrow, today it's the day when it is happening. in the next decade, if you are not able to put in those processes to take care of your all the three factors, your businesses will go out of fashion. That is for sure.
Yes, that's well said, and it is very much needed. And I think it has become necessary that we need to look into sustainability when it comes to industries and the initial stages itself. If we start to practice, then on the longer stage, the employees and the whole company will get used to it, and that is also a benefit. That's a plus that the company can present. And there are a lot of government benefits that they are gaining, and people has to get aware about the benefits what they are getting from the government.
One
And
simple example I'll say, if your society is able to put a solar panel, you get, the benefit out of it. Your electricity bill reduces substantially. So there is a monetary incentive also available to you, more than your willingness and your social
correct.
governance.
So, as a simple matter, we can say that if a house is running by an actual electricity, they can fix one or two solar panel on top of it, save the electricity on the solar inverter, and use the same energy for the evening time with a 0% of electricity. I have seen a lot of houses being built it the same way, and my daughter is doing one of the same project for my home, which I could say proudly on this platform. And when it comes to education, how we can implement this sustainability, and what do you think about it, Sulka?
So I think ma'am touched upon the point of SDG goals. So there are 17 SDG goals that are there. So as a part of empowering the children for the past 4 years, every year our annual projects are in and around the sustainability developmental goals. The idea is that the children are able to pick up any one sustainability developmental goal, and then they brainstorm, come up with solutions, come up with ideas. And as Vijayalakshmi ma'am mentioned, right, it can be as simple solution as switching off the light. So whatever is relevant, age appropriate, is something that the children do. Now, one of the recent projects for which we were recognized by Oxford was on food wastage and food security that our children did. And when we started the project, it was we thought of starting it at a global level. That let's understand what can be done at a global level. Later on, we did it at a personal level, to be very honest. Like, what do you put on your plate? How much carbon emission is there on your plate? How many times are we looking at the labels of expiry date? Simple as that, right? Because many a times we look at an expiry label and we say, okay, the bread is stale, and we throw it off, right? But that is causing so much of issues. But when we looked at one of the TED videos, that while doing our research, we found out that actually expiry date means best buy. So that means it is not become spoiled, so
Spoiled,
you
yeah,
can still
correct.
consume it. Now, these are revelations which come to children, and then they start, designing campaigns. So they design campaigns around zero wastage day, or no stale food in my fridge. So you basically consume what you require. You cook only what is required, so that you are not wasting too much of gas. For example, when you're cooking in larger quantities, that time you are consuming more of gas and electricity, whatever you're using, and that is also actually affecting your environment in some way. Another very interesting thing we did was we did something called as life cycle assessment of a product. For example, when we are sourcing a product from somewhere, so is the source sustainable? Are they using sustainable practices? Then when it is coming to the next level of, say, production phase, are they implementing? So our children did a very fantastic research on Starbucks, in fact, because Starbucks is a brand and people like
Yes.
it. And during that time, they found out that actually the coffee that Starbucks is kind of sourcing is ethical, and it comes from some, I think it's called
It's from their own farms, is what they
yeah,
actually
exactly.
claim
Coffee
it.
and farm equity practices, or something it is called as. And that is where they are sourcing it from. So, simple things like these also help the child understand that what are the different levels where I can implement sustainability. Starting from home to industry, what are the different parameters that we have to look at? And also, like, we keep doing a lot of case study with different industry people and how they are adopting. So one of the research that we did was on Tata groups, And Tata Groups has claimed that they are going to soon become zero carbon dioxide emission by 2030. That is one of their goals. And then we are seeing how they're using water stewardship, or they're using renewable energy, or circular economy for that matter. Because circular economy, children understand very well, because reduce, recycle, reuse is the principle that is taught to them from early years. In fact, there are a lot of activities that we do with the children, like best out of waste kind of a thing. So
Yes.
understanding circular economy was very easy for the children, because they could understand, okay, what it means by circular economy, what exactly the Tata Group is trying to do, how are they sourcing it, how are they reusing it. So these are the real life implementation projects that we are trying to undertake every year on year, different topics, so that children understand. So this year our topic is life on earth, life on land, and life in ocean, which is going to be again an interesting project. So let's see.
Yes. So when it comes to school, how they can implement sustainability in using the labs and products and
I think
classes.
Right. I think
You
it
read
starts right
it.
from the building itself, right? The environment, the building structure, to being paperless. For example, children had this habit until a few years back to just simply tear paper and, use it, throw it at one another, or just tear the paper. Nowadays, they are, because of constant reminder that many trees are getting cut down to make a simple paper. They are
Correct.
now becoming more and more aware that, okay, they are not supposed to do that. Another thing is, like, we have told them not to make. So what we, at least as a practice in our school, rather our academy, is we don't have any textbooks.
Okay.
So that actually saves a lot of paper,
So
because you don't
it is
need, yeah.
correct, but because we are grown with the paperbacks and we get the feeling when we turn the pages. Even now, when we read the book, it's always give that personal connect with the books, right? So how
Yes.
are you coping up with that?
I think these kids are born in a digital world, so they don't feel. I think it's just us who feel that need to turn the page. They don't need. They're good with a scroll.
Oh yeah, scroll. So your studies is more about scrolling right, left, and up and down. That's how it's gonna go.
Yes, yes. So we
Really.
insist that, if there is no requirement, and if the child is comfortable, the vision is good, and they are comfortable, they can use digital textbooks if they want. Otherwise, they can just learn from the notes, or just listen and be attentive in class. Simple as that. Also, we try as far as possible, like, that's an adoption by our organization. As far as possible, we don't give unnecessary printouts to the children. Wherever possible, we let them edit it on the document itself, or fill it up through Google Forms and stuff like that, so that these small things also accumulate a lot of uh, stuff which is going to be harmful to the environment. So
Correct,
simple
correct.
practices, I think, are helping us become more and more mindful about the way we are treating our environment.
So, in the initial times, if we see in our generations, we used to wrap it up with the cork thread, right? The coconut
Yes,
thread. That's how they
yes,
used to wrap it up. So that's also the place where we used to save. We used to get milks in the bottle. We used to get Horlicks in the bottle. We used to get everything, most of it in the bottle, which was not harming the ecosystem. And if we see the previous, we used to carry the bags to go and buy the vegetables and bring everything
yes.
gathered in one bag and come back. These days are all the plastics and packed in covers. And how do you see about it? Bringing back the old generation, yes, people call us boomer. That's a different story. But those carrying bags, and if we ask the kids these days to why don't you carry bag and go buy the groceries, they feel ashamed of it. And that's something I know, which was we were saving the world, and these generation are spoiling the world, we can
Yeah.
say. And what are the future trends and challenges in sustainability when it comes to education, automobiles, and finances, and how we can
I
save finances?
See, when we talk about future trends, I think everybody, it's like a known fact that, the world is headed towards automation, the world is headed towards AI and stuff like that. So I think just adopting these practices is going to help a lot, because, see, AI, for example, is trying to do your job faster. and that itself is also going to take care of your environmental needs. Of course, there are case studies that we are reading every day, that because of a single query that you put, there is a lot of carbon emission that is created. In fact, the data centers that are there, they are also producing huge amounts of heat, which is also going to be harmful to the
True.
environment.
Yeah.
But having said that, emerging technologies are aware about these problems. And I think having an awareness about a problem itself is a solution, because then you are going to take steps. So
Correct.
they are now trying to make tools which are far more environment friendly, and which are going to take care of these needs, the sustainability goals, basically. That is what is going to be taken care of.
Yes. And what about you, Rangna? How do you think that it's going to benefit the companies to save, and how they can save their businesses with initiating sustainability practices in day-to-day life?
In business, there is one concept: early mover advantage. The sooner you adapt the practices, it becomes easy for you to attract your customer. And that's
Yes. Mm.
again, she talked about, Sulavaji talked about, the labeling. That's very important. Today, we have only the ingredients. We had something called, when you are importing goods, we had origin, certificate of origin.
Correct.
Similarly, you need to know where your product or the raw materials for the product is coming from, so that I'm able to apply my mind and see whether I should be going for this product. So the moment the labeling becomes much more descriptive, much more informative, today our children are actually, it's all again starts from your schooling. So what we are being taught, we are just using it. So now the education system is focusing far more on, sustainability, environmental protection and things like that. Our children are conscious. So as you said, the beginning is to talk about anything to get the awareness. So the initiation conversation is started. So our children have become conscious. They will definitely become conscious. Our grandfathers told, my grandmothers told, switch off the lights. We still remember that. So we have to reinforce those habits in our children, so that they don't miss it. In between, from a not so well developed economy to a greater developed, developing economy, to a marching toward developed economy, somewhere we should not lose that concept of, resource management. And that is
Yeah.
where, when we use our resources effectively, money could be available at our disposal, but the resources are not at our disposal. It is limited, and we have to ensure that it is being used to the best of everybody's requirement. So the businesses will change. They will be forced to adapt, to the sustainable goals, for sure. Otherwise, you'll be wiped out of the system. And more the ESG ratings are going to come. The fundings are available only to people who are going to be sustainable. If you are not, if you are in a process which is going to generate a lot of carbon emission, or it's going to pollute your water, or you're going to draw much more water from the sources than your competitor is doing, definitely your customer will walk away, your funding will go away. That taxation, there is something called as green taxation, for you're going to give benefits for people who are going to be green, or tax people for polluting the environment. So all these things are in the evolution stage. It is still not stabilized. It is like GST, which has come in 2017 and it is settling down. Similarly, these ESG measures are slowly coming in, but it will come and have a lot. See, when US president says, there is no global warming, it's a different scenario. When another president comes and says it's a real challenge, people will talk about it. We will be conscious about it, and businesses have to, because politics could go in a different way, but the business has to stay. So, and
Yes.
they have to embrace all those things to keep their business afloat. And embracing sustainability is one of, because the boardroom, when I talk about boardroom, is about taking decisions for a longer term. It's never to do for a small time, medium term or short term goal enhancement. That the management takes care. So the decisions from the boardroom have to have sustainability. We have to embed ESG in our decision making, so that it takes care of at every levels in the organization. Business will change, has to change. There is no second opinion about it.
So, what are the challenges do you think in sustainability if a
See,
company has
I
to
think we
initiate?
don't have the enough infrastructure to embrace it. How many EVs are there? What is the cost of it? What is the how many places you have to charge it? These are the logical challenges. So the more and more we get the infrastructure for people to practice, when you spoke about the bags, I still remember as a South Indian, my parents used to carry that yellow bag, manjapai, we call it as. We used to hate them. Now it's come back, but it's come up in a different colors with different styles.
Yes,
We are
that's
so
jute
happy.
bag with all the printings and lovely stuff. People are not ashamed, and the jute is literally a sakapai. It's they're
It is
happy
a
with
fashion
that.
symbol to carry. More and more, your fashion icons are going to promote these sustainable measures. It's going to be embraced faster. It is again for those celebrities and people who are in the limelight who promote products have to ensure that they promote products which are sustainable, which are there is one discussion which goes around in our circles. Why do we need to eat kiwi when it has to travel from New Zealand to India to come and eat? You have something called as sapota in Tamil. I don't know what you call it
Yes, it's
in the northern language. Why
Chiku,
can't
chiku.
we that be the
chiku.
why can't you
Chiku.
keep it as the kiwi of India? That's a discussion which has to happen in real terms. I'm a big fan of Ruchita Divekar when she talks about, you have to eat local, you have to be sustainable. It is the real challenge because when that goods, I'm not saying, we are for globalization, but there are some practices which has to adopt taking your local culture. And that is where businesses can leverage it. In South, we have, even in North, we get it. The palm fruits, we get it in summer. Why can't we market it? The sugarcane juice, it is
Palm
you can
tree,
get it, but
yes.
it's expensive. Why can't we roll out all those things? These are the measures so that we use the byproduct. The Indian culture is like everything is recycled and reused. When you go to temples, you get food, your prasad in your leaf, which is a dried leaf
Yes.
katori. So we have to have those practices everywhere. Water bottles, can we not carry our water bottles? These are the things. If you look at Infosys BRSR report, it talks about by carpooling how much of carbon emission they could save, and that is a minutest information we can talk about. But again, the business has to grow. Yeah, there should be I know few US companies who are working in capturing those ESG data to give it to the stakeholders, to the giving to the shareholders. So how much we have saved is also, one is following it. The other one is proclaiming it to the world so that somebody takes motivation from what the leaders are doing so that they can embed. Or no, you can become a leader or you talk about it loud and clear so that people are there to practice it. So business has to and will embrace ESG and sustainability for sure in their business.
Yeah, the change has to start from us. So we can
Yes.
expect the change
Very
from
true.
outside. Yes. How about
Very
Vijayalakshmi?
true.
So I
So
wanted to
very true,
understand.
rightly said by both Ranganai and Sulabha ma'am. Like it's to start from every one of us. From we should teach our children. One thing I always feel is like every day morning we wake up and use a brush, right? It is a plastic brush. And how many plastic waste you use it for 1 month, maximum 3 months, we throw it away. How
Exactly.
many landfills are filled with plastic? Just think about it. A single
You're
person in your
talking
lifetime, how
about.
many brushes you are going to throw it away?
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. You're talking about brushes, but think of the water bottles that we use on a daily to
Yes,
daily basis.
true. I'm just
Somehow,
saying, starts from small things. We have to teach our children, our people in our home, in our offices. I feel that automobile industry has been far good in sustainabilities because they have started the sustainability drive at least 10 years back. Slowly, slowly they have started, and at least they are in somewhere far better than other sectors of industries. Automobile industry, most of their supply chain are returnable, and they have all 60 percentage they have reduced their exports or imports, they have reduced their imports, and they have tried to localization. These all projects are already driving a huge way in automobile industry. But other industries I'm not good I'm not having a very good knowledge about it. But I think the change should come from the homes actually.
yes,
Lots of things. One more thing I always feel is the sanitary pad which we use.
Yes.
Today, 20% of land is filled with sanitary pads. We are not using anything organic. We are always using non-organic one. And we don't, the most important thing is there is no disposal procedure given to how to dispose the sanitary pads. It is given to
correct.
organizations. Organizations do it. When I go to office, there is a dispenser where I put it. There is a person who collects it and he gives a certificate also how he dispose that one. But when I use it in the home, I put it in the normal dustbin. And where it goes, we see literally see in rivers, lakes. some of the birds legs and all. No, if you go, it is, I went to a temple recently, it was near a river, and it was so embarrassing for me, like everywhere the pampers, sanitary pads, all this were lying. We don't have a proper way of disposal
Exactly.
mechanism
Disposing.
is given. Actually, I think some things like this can be given by government, giving some ideas can be come up, and individuals, we as individuals should also come up with some ideas.
Figure out
People,
some ideas how to
we don't
dispose.
come and speak about this all, like this
No,
brush,
more
no.
than correct, more than menstrual hygiene, I think people should also add these. This is a very valid point that how to dispose a sanitary pad, and more people has to be educated about how it has to be disposed, and more than because there are people who doesn't know how to use menstrual cup, so those people definitely opt for sanitary pads, and the disposing is something that we have to figure out and
And
start.
pamper usage is also very high with children today. Earlier I have not used I have not used pampers in my life. At least I started very little to my son. But now future generation, with all my sisters, daughters, and all, I see every time they're all with pampers. Wherever you go, it is there. And how
The
you dispose it?
comfort.
No way. No way.
Yes.
There is no communication. There is no process how to. It is always filled. Landfills are filled. 20% of landfill and water fill is today with this. See, most of the
Yes.
blockages happens in the tanks or any water sewages only because of this. Because there is
Absolutely
no
true.
process. Government has not given any process also, and it should be made a mandatory one. See, everyone is watching it, right? If you go to any river, you say river is a holy place, holy water, but when you see such things, you don't even feel going there, keeping your leg. So that's the pathetic situation we have. So these
Exactly.
type of things,
Absolutely true.
one side looking on the industries is okay, but other side, see, 50% of our time we are there in home, right?
Yeah,
Lots
correct.
of things, whatever we use in home, we don't use a sustainable way. So we have to find some sustainable way how you are going to start with the families and in your home, and few products like sanitary pads or brushes. You have to think a way how we are going to dispose it. There are lots of disposing methods are there. But problem is government, if they make, for example, it should say that if there is a society of 50 homes or 10 homes or 20 homes, during construction time itself, or when you sell the house, they should have a procedure that there is a sanitary burning machine should be there. It should be
Okay.
installed. It should be used. Like that, some procedures has to be come up. See, the problem with Indians is that until something is forced on us, will not do. At least
Yeah,
on
we
this
have
aspect.
Rangana Aiki, ma'am, to say something. Please go
No,
ahead.
this is what is a business idea. Where you find a problem, just get that rolled out. You have profit and you are taking care of. Another
Yes.
industry I would like to say, or we should concentrate is, being in Mumbai, North. During Diwali, there's a lot of mindless gifting happening. Look at those packaging. The packaging industry has to become much more responsible. And that is again a kind of waste. You see, the next morning it is all on the roads. All on the dustbins. So those packaging industry has to think on sustainability, as she said. Not only automobile, the oil and gas industry has to think about it. There's so many industries which need to think about sustainability within their realms of what they could do in their business.
Yes, exactly. And we have to start implementing from home to schools and to offices, that everything we have to keep in mind, and we have to be mindful about how we can save our planet. We should not be so responsible that, okay, somebody else is going to come and live. How am I responsible about it? Yeah. So, what are the challenges do you think that it can pop up in Sulba?
See, one of the major thing that we have been speaking about is lack of awareness that people have, and just not being mindful. Many times we feel that as long as I am not suffering, it's not my problem.
Exactly.
So we have that kind of a mindset. That mindset change has to be there, and as ma'am said rightly, that all the different industries need to come together to attain this. It's not one person's job. Because say maybe I am responsible, I'm going to put it in the dustbin properly, or I'm going to take care of water, judicial use of water, and all of these things I will be taking care of. But if each and everybody feels that responsible, only then we can make a difference. So I think just creating awareness and basically taking all the stakeholders in confidence and having a shared vision is very, very powerful. So, as an organization, when we are talking about businesses, I think it is very important for the leaders of that particular business to take it as a joint vision, talk to the employees, talk to the supply people, talk to the customers, consumers also about what their vision is towards achieving this sustainability goal. I think just sharing that vision and having everybody on board with you to implement it, I think that joint effort is what is needed. Because when we started deciding this, that okay, from now on, every year we are going to have this, I had taken my parents into confidence, the students first into confidence, as well as my teachers, because that created a lot of enthusiasm. And my parents were very happy because they were like, okay, something different is happening. Our children are going to be aware, they are going to be one step in the future, already thinking and being problem solvers. So they were happy, my teachers were on board, because see, ultimately they are the ones who have to work hard, they have to come up with creative problems for the children to do it right, so they need to be on board. So it's everybody. It's not just me as a head of an organization thinking about it. It doesn't help. So I think what I would like to suggest at this point is just having everybody, all hands on deck, is the solution.
So running drills and drives like that from the companies to educate them how you have to segregate it. Like these, there are segregation, but the deepest segregation will help the environment to cope up with it rather than just burning out the plastics. I have come across some companies who are building bricks using the plastic bottles.
Yes.
Something more would be very much beneficial for everybody to save our country. I think save our
There is also a
ecosystem.
company in, I
Is
think
there
it is in
any more point?
There is a company in
Sorry?
Bangalore. Sorry, Meenakshi. There is a company.
Yes, yes, please go
They
ahead.
build a house with sustainably houses with a very low cost. In the sense, they take all the reuse plastics or whichever is available. They convert it not like a brick. They create a sheet type of thing and they build a house which is a very cheap. I think 3 lakhs to 4 lakh of rupees, a one bedroom house or something they build and give you a sustainability home. Whenever you want to shift the place, you can remove it also.
Correct.
Also,
Yes, even I
tar-like
have heard about
material is created using bottles, like the waste bottles that we throw. Tar-like material is also getting created. So
Yes.
there are multiple
Rose.
solutions that are coming up. I mean, people are trying, but how many times we want to adopt, right?
it.
We
Exactly,
still
right.
want
Is there
Awareness.
fancy.
any points that you guys wanted to add more tips and take care of it, how we can do it?
So one is awareness, like Sulabha ma'am said, awareness to the every individual in this country. At least we have to do. When you say awareness, it's not. It starts from children to everyone. At least we are all grown up. One way of doing it is starting from schools. I remember when this health or the menstrual health was a very priority in India. In schools, when you come to a age, when you start your sixth standard, there will be a video shown wherein all the girls would be called and they'll say how hygiene is very important, how you have to take care of it. Similarly, we should also bring an awareness from children's, like schools. Every school should have a bringing an awareness or a session or a monthly session wherein they come and communicate a general video or some communication type of thing which will bring this awareness. And similarly, you see lots of advertisements are coming in all the channels. We should have advertisements related to sustainability. It is lots of government election, all these things are coming as an ad. So we should have something on awareness about the sustainability also, because
Yes,
today everything is digital, right? You
correct.
are available in Facebook, Insta, everywhere, and lots of ads are going on. So like that we can create something so that this is the biggest challenge actually, to
Yes,
change a
and
mindset
just
in a
sorry
person
to
is a very
interrupt,
important thing.
Vijay Lakshmi. Keeping the time in mind, we have
Yeah.
only 1 minute, and it's really amazing talking about too many informations, too many enlightenment, and I really thank you each and every one to spend your time and speak and give the awareness and how we can implement and how we can add in our daily lifestyles and industries and more of it. We'll talk. I think if I really get another opportunity to talk about the same topic, I would really love to join with you guys. And thank you so much for your wonderful time. And thank you so much for the VWC to making me as a moderator. And I'm honored to do it. Thanks a lot. Thank you a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure
Thanks
to
a
be
lot.
here
Thank you
today.
so much. It
Thank
was a
you.
wonderful
It's our
discussion.
pleasure.
It's wonderful having you on this platform.